Greetings, and thanks for joining us. This webinar is about lifting up the voice and vote of residents of affordable housing. My name is Sharon Cornu. I'm the Political Director for the Nonprofit Housing Association of Northern California. And I want to spend just a moment first to say thanks to all of the resident service coordinators, service providers, and allied professionals who have helped us figure out the best way to engage residents in civics and in community building. We've really benefited from your years of experience and expertise, and we wanted to capture some of that and combine it with some of what we've learned about voter education and mobilization. So thank you very much for joining and listening, and thank you for the work you do every day. So this is no surprise, what we've learned in civic engagement and community organization around political campaigns. Many voters really dislike partisanship. They dislike the way that politics is played today, and they dislike polarizing arguments and messaging. We find what I like to call TLC voters, voters who need just a little extra tender to get to the polls and to complete their ballot. They often prefer to be approached by someone they know and respect, maybe an organization they're a part of, certainly the community that they live in. When it comes to voter education, when it comes to information, confidence in the process and their choices, understanding the mechanics of voting, the timeline, and many voters prefer a value-based appeal over a strongly partisan or polarizing message. And so we find that this approach is really consistent with the work that affordable housing leaders do every day in community building. We want to spend just a moment on this because the work that you do is so important in building strong communities. And we're really different from a political campaign because we'll be here after the election. We're where people live. We're the neighbors and community that surrounds the voters we're working with. So we're not trying to push one point of view or one perspective. We're here to offer information. We're here to make sure that voters have confidence in the process, understand the mechanics, are able to navigate and make their choices and their voice heard. And we're really trying to build a strong team of all of the residents, resource service coordinators, and providers that's consistent with the community building work to improve the health, opportunity, and well-being of residents. We want to spend just a minute understanding our legal limitations and requirements. As nonprofit organizations, NPH members don't give up First Amendment rights and are absolutely authorized and entitled to speak out on the issues. We want to make sure that we do that based on our experience and showing voters what we've learned in the development of affordable homes. And we want to make sure we're in conversation with our management so that we understand the rules that apply to any funding sources or charitable organization status. Typically, the work of staff in conducting voter outreach and education is what's called non-reportable. We do recommend that people separate voter registration from voter education about specific measures. And again, we refer you back to your general management teams to understand the rules that apply in your specific situation. But if you are conducting nonpartisan voter registration, and we encourage you to check the parallel webinar on the NPH website that talks about voter registration, and then separate voter education programs that provide information and give people confidence in the process and understanding the mechanics of voting. Those are legal activities for nonprofit organizations to engage in, and we are trusted messengers that voters and residents will value hearing from us about. Some of the techniques that NPH members are using are terrific and creative and exciting. People are combining voter registration or education activities into Zumba, karaoke, and bingo nights. We saw a lot of people doing work at National Night Out to increase voter registration. We see people incorporating registration into the orientation of new residents and some of the community building activities. In many cases where resident councils are in place, they're taking the responsibility of conducting voter registration and voter education program. And all of this is consistent in a framework where we're providing information, not a hard sell, and we're making sure that people have the opportunity to express their preferences and lift up their voice. I want to call attention to some resources you'll find on the NPH Action website. You'll be able to find a list of county clerks in the 9 Bay Area counties who may be able to assist with voter registration or support training of residents. And you'll find connection to your local League of Women Voters. Again, their volunteers may be available at different times of year to support your voter registration activities. You will also find on the NPH website material in 7 languages because it's tested and proven that voters prefer to use their home language whenever possible, and it improves participation. And that's really what we're trying to do, is create a culture of inclusion and strong, healthy communities. We want to provide you with tools that will help you measure success, and so we can count voter registration cards. On our voter education side, we're providing these pledge to vote cards. We're not asking people to vote a specific way, but we're asking them to pledge to vote, and this card can be completed and returned to a service provider and then handed back to the voter when mail ballots are dropping or just before Election Day to remind the voter of why they wanted to vote this year and to help encourage them and use it as an opportunity for a conversation, to collect stories, to enjoy community, and to provide some more information about voting. You know, it's just been terrific this year to meet with so many resident services coordinators and other service providers, and we've had a great learning about what works in your community and the programs that have been effective. I think my biggest takeaway is the value of positive thinking and contributing to a positive environment around voting and participation. Replacing some of that negativity and polarization and cynicism with an opportunity to do something good in our community and really to be heard on issues that matter to us. The opportunity to engage resident leaders is critically important. And one of the assets that the affordable housing community has that no political campaign has in the same way is this base of people and the connection to home and where people live. And so that's really the kind of love that money can't buy, and a very important resource that we can use. One of the techniques that civic engagement and voter engagement efforts are really learning is the tactic of thanking people for being a voter. It turns out that if we avoid the old concepts of duty and obligation and thank people for participating and thank them for making their voices heard, not surprisingly, that encourages people to participate. That's part of why we're providing you with the Pledge to Vote cards. Again, that's a pledge to participate, not to vote a certain way. And all of this is conducive to your ongoing work to create a community of inclusion. And we hope that you'll find the materials from NPH on our NPH Action Fund website useful and constructive. You will find the Pledge to Vote cards as well as information on the housing measures in 3 different counties. You'll find them in 7 different languages. There's an order form, and the materials can be shipped directly to you. They can be shipped directly to properties. Please give us good information for shipping purposes. And I want to close here by just saying thank you for all of the work that you do every day to improve housing opportunity and security, to contribute to the well-being of our communities. We have these posters on our NPH website. You can download them and print them. You can order them to be shipped to you. And I'll just close by saying that truly everyone deserves a place to call home. Please register and vote. Thank you.